Well, hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel again. Today I'm going to tie an Olive Damsel Fly. It's my version. There's a few people around that time, but yeah, this is just what I've tied, and I've just used some materials that I had while we were in COVID, and I've only been tying for about 18 months, and I'm pretty much an amateur, and I probably tie about 10 flies every 2 months. So don't expect any magnificent fly, but I've been very successful with this fly. It's usually my point fly when I fish with two flies, two type Damsel flies. I usually fish the olive as the pointer, and I fish a white one about 2 foot up. So I'll start now. I use some olive thread to start off with. So I'll just tie that in. Just go up to where the hook starts to bend, and that's it. Got him there. Then come back to the bead again, and I'll just cut that bit of thread off. And next I use some olive Marabou. That's the one I use. It's just an amazing material, and just to watch it in the water, it just the action that it does, it's just so lifelike. And once I saw it moving in the water, I thought, wow, this is really great material. I mean, it's what you're supposed to tie the damsels with, but regardless, it's just an amazing material to use, or a feather to use. So I like to be pretty generous with this stuff. So what I do, I'll just tie that in first. So this is the tail that I'm tying in. If I can get it on there. There we go. So just tie that in along the hook, and then just come back, and I'll just trim off this excess here. That's that. The vise that I'm using is actually a Nor vise. I mean, I don't have a big budget with my fishing, so I mean, I did buy this second hand, and a lot of my equipment is second hand. So I think I'm wanting a bit more than that. I like it a bit fluffier than that. So I'll just tear another lot of feathers off it. Just cut a piece off. There we go. And I'll just add that bit to it. So I'll just add that on. There. Like that. Yeah, like being an ex-tradie, I was a maintenance fitter for quite a few years, and I just like the mechanics of this Nor vise. Plus, if you watch this line holder, it's actually like got a spring inside it, so it stops wherever you want it. I like that about it as well. And then on the other side of the vise, there's like a little hanger, and I can just hang my line like that. It's out the way, and I can work on this. So it's pretty handy little jigger. So once I've put that on, what I do, I'll grab some flash. I call it tinsel. It's like tinsel. This one's called Chartreuse, and it's got gold and green sparkly tinsel in it, and I just go for the green one for this fly. I do use the gold one when I tie the white damsel, but for this one I just use the green. So I just use 2 bits, and I tie them in on both sides of the fly. So what I do, I just sit it on the top, and then as I tie it in, it drags it around to the side. So let's give it a bit of slack. Yeah, and it ties in on the side, and then give it a couple of wraps, and then you can, oh, that's not going too good. Tie it in. There we go. I've grabbed it, and now I'll just come back with it there. Tied those 2 in. Oh, this is a disaster, eh? Anyway, like I said, I'm just an amateur. I'm not professing to be a fantastic fly tyer. And then I grab the other 2 and I drag them round to this side. So I've got 2 on one side and 2 on my side. Just drag that around. There we go. And I just tie them in as well. And that just gives it a bit of sparkle, just another thing that could attract the fish. And then what I do, and a lot of guys do this, is I'll whip in behind the tail, a couple of whips, and what that does, it raises all the tail so it doesn't bind down and drop down where your hook is. So that's what that does. So that's there. I'll go back to the front. Now that I've done that, I'll grab a bit of copper wire. It's only thin copper wire. I've just got this wire from some electrical wire I had in the shed when we were in lockdown. I just didn't have the opportunity to go to any shops because, you know, Melbourne was locked down, and I just used the resources that I had and the materials I had to put this fly together. So it's just, I don't know why you'd want to pay big money for a bit of copper when you can just get a bit of wire. But yeah, so that's tied in. Yeah, so once that copper wire is turned or wound onto the body, I use this dubbing. It's called Ice Dub UV Black. That's the one I use, and it's got like a purple glitter through it, and I only put like only a little bit on. It's just to, obviously would attract the fish because of the glitter, and you just add it to your line. Just twirl it on, and sometimes it helps just to wet it a bit, so just lick your finger or whatever and twirl it on. I did do this before. I've had to edit some out. Maybe I'll have like a blooper section where things go wrong, but yeah, so you just twirl that onto the thread, and then wind it on, and that forms the body, as you can see. And whoops, I've got the hook there. Twirl it on a bit more. There we go, that's good. And you twirl that on like that. And then what I do is I just grab the wire that I had earlier and go the opposite way to which I use the thread. So, and I give it like 2 millimeter gaps around as it comes round, and I'll give it like, I don't know, 4, maybe 5, and just a bit around the head, and then I just tie in the copper wire, and then I just break it off, fatigue it, and it eventually does break like that. And yeah, that's that part. So I've got my body, I've got my tail, I've got a bit of tinsel in there to attract the fish. And now what I do is I put some hackle on, and same thing, although a lot of people use like CDC. At the time I didn't have any CDC. CDC is like a duck feather. I think it's actually from the butt of the duck. And the CDC is really good in fresh water. It actually, I've watched it, it actually creates bubbles as it's going through the water, which is really good. This is a partridge feather that I'm using. It was something that I had while we were locked down, and I thought, you know what, I'll just use it. And because it was so successful, yeah, it's part of this fly that I do now. So yeah, I try and face the feather back towards it so that when I tie this hackle, all the hackle sort of naturally goes towards the back. I mean, that's the theory behind it. It does seem to work. So I'll just grab my hackle pliers on it, and I'll move this, I think it's called a bobbin that holds the line. Move that away. No, it's actually undone there. Just have to tie that back in. Yeah, I'll just have a bobbin there. And then, yeah, I just wind this around. And I like how it's a little bit of a different colour. I mean, a lot of people just keep this fly an olive colour. I like, and I even use this partridge on my white damsel as well. So yeah, now I've tied that in. I'll release that, and then I'll tie it in, and now I'll just pull it all back. Pull it all back like that, and then I'll tie it again just so that it holds it and faces backwards. So yeah, that's good. And then I'll just do some whip finishes. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock that in. Another one. I'll just do 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That ties it in nicely. Pull that back again, and I can cut this line off. There we go. And just hold it all back, and then I'll grab some super glue just so that knot doesn't come apart. Give it a dob there. I'll release the vise, and I can rotate my rotate my fly. Give it another dob on the bottom like that, and then give it a bit of a blow just to dry it. And yeah, well, that's my version of the fly. I'll just give it a trim. These are, you know, all odd lengths. I'll just, probably that's long enough there. Just trim that off. And yeah, that's my Olive Damsel Fly. It's caught me a lot of fish. It's something that I created during the lockdown with the materials I had lying around, and yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps somebody. If you've got any questions about any of the materials, it's a Dohiku number 12 hook. Sorry, a number 10 hook that I'm using. I think, what was it? Dohiku 303, I think. Hook. I might put something in the comments as well if you want to have a look at the materials that I've used. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to subscribe, and yeah, God bless. Bye.